Why do you think that some leaders hide from funding their vision?
Well, if leaders are hiding from
Can you hear
funding
me
their
now?
vision, yeah, no, no,
Yeah.
I got it. Yeah, if leaders are hiding from funding their vision, I think that just comes down to they're really not believing in what their
Mhm.
vision is. Because if they believe it, they can see it clearly, and they're have 100% belief that they can make it happen. They would be more than happy to fund it, or find the funding to make their vision happen. So I think that just comes to a matter of really having the confidence and the belief that they can see it through.
Wow, you put up a very great point. Thank you for sharing that. What I have found that most people don't bet on themselves enough in the right time, and that has to maybe come from lack of belief in themselves. So how can people then find that faith or their belief in themselves to fund their vision?
Yeah,
How did
people
you
don't
do
have.
it?
Yeah. If
How
people
did
don't
you
have
do
the
it?
belief in themselves, how did I do it? Well, I think I'm really fortunate that my parents instilled in me just like this confidence that if I really work hard and give my 100% into what I'm doing, that I'll be able to achieve whatever it is that I want to achieve. But if not everybody has that kind of upbringing, and I think if they're lacking the confidence, then they just need to really just look back at what they have done in their past. Okay, like what victories do they have, what wins do they have, and write them down, read them over and over, and just really kind of instill that belief on by themselves, because they need to be reminded of like all of their victories, all the good things that they have done. And by doing that, I think they'll build themselves up to say, you know what, I've done a lot of things in my life. I think I could really make this happen for myself.
I wanna take a step back on that and ask a different and better questions with the same scenario. Do you think that is the belief or not believing in themselves or their lack of clarity that stops them from funding that vision? So, for give you an example, um, if I knew about Bitcoin 10 years ago and I know exactly what's gonna do, like I did not like I didn't speculate. I knew that it's gonna go to this much money. Do you think I would invest in Bitcoin if I knew?
Oh yeah, of course. If you knew, of course, it'd be no brainer. Of
Exactly.
course, yeah.
So we have the stories of people who have successfully created businesses and successfully done their visions. We have books and books of people who have done that, and we have history records showing all that. And there's people who have access to that on the fingertips, which people didn't 50 years ago, like 10 years ago, even. Like now we have access to that right on our fingertips. So, w- do you still believe it's the belief that stops them from funding the vision?
Well, I think yeah, the belief absolutely, and I think that goes together with the clarity of the vision as well. If what that's what you're getting at, I think yeah, you have to have the clarity of what your vision is, and then number two is be able to really believe that you can make that happen. Because if your vision isn't clear, then what are you even trying to get at, right? You
Yeah.
have to have that first in mind, like put that vision in your mind, make it crystal clear, and say, okay, well now what steps can I take? Okay, I need to fund it, then if you believe in it, then you'll absolutely be willing to put in all the money that you have to make that happen.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that was the whole goal to bring that aspect of it. So, what did you do in your journey, Lamb? Apart from your parents blessing you with the knowledge and a lot of things, like what did you do in your entrepreneur journey? Being a lawyer in this cutthroat market, I don't think it's easy. I don't think it's easy thing to do, specifically if you're trying to compete with big law firms at the same time
Yeah.
who are throwing money on advertisements to take away all the things that you can actually maybe get. So, what did you do in that case?
Well, at the beginning, when there weren't many phone calls, there weren't many clients, I was always just telling myself affirmations. I would write it down, whatever it is I wanted to happen. I would tell myself that I could make it happen. I would actually have a vision board, well, not like a board that on the wall, but just kind of like a photograph album. And I would put pictures on there that I wanted to see happen, so that I could make the vision of what I wanted to happen. I could actually just see it in my hands and just have it there and just review it. And that was something that thought, like, that I've read in books, that if you make yourself like a vision board, your mind will constantly be working on making it so that you can make that happen.
Yeah, that's awesome. What else did you do after that point?
I mean, after that, it's just every day, just work hard every single day, wake up early, commit yourself 100%, take chances, just whatever resources that you had, whether it's your time or your money or energy, you put everything that you can into making your vision come true.
Thank you for sharing that. The reason I should have prefaces this with this statement on this show. I love, and I think our audience really appreciates if people and leaders can show to share the good, bad, and the ugly. I think we we as leaders have the responsibility to not just show the pretty picture of what could happen or what we have achieved, right, but the path that we took from hardships. And a lot of people undervalue the amount of work it takes that to actually build a successful business. And I think you mentioned that hard work and believing in yourself and keep doing it again and again and again. I think it's very, very important to see. And I really, really believe this. Most people don't, they're not willing to do that. Most people are not willing to go through what it takes to make something successful, making worthwhile. Have you read the book E-Myth, Lem?
Yeah, that was one of the first books that I read when I was starting the business. Like, I got it at the library, and
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember the details, but I remember the book that I did read it.
Yeah, and there's a very staggering stat in the book. I don't know if you remember or not, but uh, is 96% of businesses are failing within the first 10 years. And if I cut that number to half and half, so within the first 10 years, they're saying about 80% of businesses are failing within the first 5 years. And how many businesses are actually getting to the 2 year mark? That's 60%, maybe.
Hmm.
That's a high number of people that are failing, and that the number clearly shows that business owners have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea what they're trying to do something. They're trying to do this, and whatever the gurus are telling them, I would say. So what was it for you? Like, I would love. I think our audience would appreciate that a lot. Like, what was your journey like?
Well, the beginning was really difficult, filled with a lot of doubt, and I can't emphasize it enough that in the beginning, there's just a lot of sacrifices that have to be made with your time, especially make sacrifices with that. Like, you can't always be there for your family. You can't always have leisure time, or actually have no leisure time, and just everything, like every minute, hour that you have to. I mean, at least I did. I had to put it into the business. Like, I just had a newborn at the time, so I was juggling those two things at the same time. But when I wasn't with the family, taking care of my newborn with my wife, everything was going to the business. Even when I was with the family, I think my thoughts were with, like, okay, well, what can I do differently? What do I need to do tomorrow? How can I grow this business? I'm just always like thinking of, what do I need to do? I'm looking at other people's ads. I'm looking at commercials. I'm looking, just everything. It's just like constant. There's no really peace of mind that things are going to be okay. There's nothing else going on in my mind besides getting the business going. Like, I'm not interested in anything else. It's like it's my job. It's my hobby. It's my passion. It's like it's everything. And that's how I started out.
Let me ask you a same question on what you just shared with us. That vision at that time when you gave everything that you had to achieve that, did you was it something that you were looking towards, something you're building towards, that made you get out of bed every morning? Like, what was that kept you going through all those times of hardship, or even now?
I mean, my family, providing for my family is huge. I was a new father, responsible for a life. I say, okay, it's time to take things seriously. Really got to make this happen, and that keeps me going till today. But yeah, I think also on top of that is, now that I think things are being well taken care of, is also just making sure that we're living, or that I'm living my life to its fullest potential and getting everything out of myself that I can.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Um, I think a lot of times as entrepreneurs, they want to start businesses and solve problems, which is not a bad thing. But for people without the skills and without the I would say experience that is necessary to build a business. Um, I think having a why that will get you going, that will keep you going, is very, very important. I think at least for me, if 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 I don't have the why that I look up to, I don't feel like myself as motivated. So there has to be an external motivation to help me through that, and I don't think that will last long enough. For you, that was your family, and I think for a lot of people, that is their family. That's also one of the reasons during like the late 20s and early 30s, men start to work harder, achieve more and more, and try to do a lot of stuff. So yeah, thank you for sharing that with us, Lam. That was
Of
awesome.
course, yeah, absolutely.
The other part of about hard work, and that goes well in hand, is leadership. To you, what defines a great leader, Lem, and why?
What makes a great leader, I think, is someone that day in and day out sets the example, that shows by action versus just by their words. Because I don't think a leader should expect anyone to do what they're not willing to do themselves.
Yes.
Because I can just build, I probably can just build a lot of resentment if you just have someone that's just always telling people what to do, but then really doesn't take action themselves, doesn't really carry the burden. But a good leader is supposed to carry the heaviest burden of them all, and then everybody just kind of follows suit and says, okay, well, the leader's carrying a lot of weight, I need to carry my own weight too, so that I can do my part with the team.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. Um, yeah, almost everyone has heard of Alex Hermosi, right? Uh, Alex Hermosi, I think it's one of those leaders who I think outworks almost everyone. And so he gave one of these examples, and I'm trying to paraphrase it. He said that one of his coworkers, like people that work under him, um, wanted to know, like, hey, how hard do I have to work to get where I want to get, or get ahead of Alex Hermosi in a way? And he said, um, the amount of the amount of time Alex Hermosi has on everyone in the market leaders, like the amount of time he has of actual work, he is decades ahead of people. And if you want to catch up to that guy and get to the top, the amount of work that you need to do is you just don't have any other thing to do. It's just that your passion. That's what you got to do. And I don't think that's for everyone, but it's a very, very selected few people. Um, so leading by example, and in that example, I think Alex Hermosi is the example for his company, where he's the epitome of what you got to achieve. Like he's to him, I think 16-hour days are normal work. It's Yeah, that's it's crazy to me. I can't fathom that. It's can't fathom that. I'm like, if I'm working 8 hours on a good day, it would actually, but those 16 hours, what he's saying is actual work. It's not like what most people call busy. He's not busy. He's actually working on things that actually make a difference and does things for him. Instead of I call myself busy a lot of times with things, but it's not actual work most of the times, and that's where most people don't realize. So, what are your thoughts on that? Like, what do you think on that? Um,
Yeah, and I think that's on point. If that's what it takes, that's what you need to do. If 16-hour days is what it takes, then that's what you need to do. If you're in a business where the owners are working 16 hours, but then you're like, well, I can do 10. Well, who's gonna achieve more, right? I
yeah,
mean, maybe you can achieve more if you have more talent, more skill, but in the end, I think that's a lot more talent and skill to outwork someone that's going 16 hours a day and
yeah.
you're going 10. So I think that's a problem. Why that's probably like why a lot of businesses don't do well. The owners aren't willing to make that kind of sacrifice, and then you have other business owners that are making that kind of sacrifice, and eventually you're just going to get outworked.
Thank you for being here today. I'm really happy that you tuned in to Vision Pros Live. I'm looking forward to seeing your reactions as these episodes continue to move forward. This is going to get more and more fun. We'll have more and more engagement as well. We'll invite people to participate in the show. And thank you for giving us your time and attention. Have an excellent time building out your vision and becoming a Vision Pro yourself.